Hey, welcome back to How to Barbecue Right. I'm Malcolm Reed. Today I'm going to be doing some pork chops on the grill, and I've got some ribeye chops. These dudes are extra thick, and I'm going to give them some barbecue love. I've got some Tennessee Mojo rub, the BBQ Magic, and we're going to do a Tennessee whiskey glaze. You're going to want to try this recipe. Let's get to cooking. All right, these chops that I'm starting with today are extra thick cut from the front part of the pork loin. Now they're bone-in chops, and you can see they have a double cut bone. They're gonna be great for smoking, but what I like about them is they're the ribeye chop, which that means it just has the spinalis muscle still attached to it. And you know from eating steaks, or a ribeye steak, that spinalis is really the most tender part of the animal. Same goes for the pig. And so I'm just gonna get these chops seasoned using a little J. Durbin's Tennessee Mojo BBQ Magic. Do a Tennessee style chops today with that whiskey glaze, so gotta give some Tennessee love out there. And the only thing I'm doing is going straight out of the bottle with this BBQ Magic. Really great smelling rub. Got all those barbecue notes that you expect. Color's awesome too. And I'm just covering the chops, all sides. Be sure to get the edges, even that bone side, because you know we're gonna have to gnaw on that a little bit. So we got a good coat of that BBQ Magic on these chops, and now I just want to let them sit. You can already see that rub's starting to sweat them. It's going to pull out some of that moisture, absorb some of that flavor in, and you want them to rest at least a minimum of about 30 minutes. It's going to be perfect for firing up the drum. To get the drum going today, I'm using some B&B Hickory Lump charcoal. Just gonna add it right to my drum basket and put a couple starter cubes in there. Fire them up, and then we're gonna drop it back down in the drum and leave the lid open. Let that fire breathe. It needs about 20 minutes to get the coals good and hot. Then we're gonna close the lid and start checking it back. I'm gonna be cooking at about 275 today. Add a little bit of that cherry grill wood so we can get some smoke going with that good hickory lump. We'll be ready to cook these chops just here in about 30 minutes. So the drum's setting about 275. We've already put our cherry wood on there. That smoke's starting to roll. You can see these chops have started to sweat out. The BBQ Magic is happening. It's working on these chops. Got some moisture coming out. You know that means they're gonna be flavored inside. So I'm gonna ease this drum up. Got this new hinge on the lid, makes that part real easy. We're just gonna get these chops right on the cooking grate. No right or wrong way. Just lay them on there and spread them out a little bit so they got air around them. We're gonna get the lid closed on them, put the smoke to them, and we're gonna just let them cook. We'll turn them about halfway through, check on them. You know, we're looking for an internal temperature of around 145. That's where we want them today. So they'll be juicy, be cooked all the way through. Then we're gonna glaze them at the end. Y'all are gonna wanna see that. Our chops have been on about 30 minutes now, and I just wanna get them flipped over where they're cooking even. We'll just prop the lid open there. Let's just turn them. Grab a pair of tongs, whatever you wanna use. They're looking good. Starting to cook. Still got a beautiful color. Got a ways to go. You just want to keep an eye on them. Hurry up and get the lid closed. We don't lose too much temp. We're good though. Just gonna let that drum stay right about 275. Keep the smoke rolling a little bit. We're gonna watch them. In about another 30 minutes, we'll come back, flip them again, and start checking internal temperature. So we're 1 hour in on these chops. Let's ease this lid open. Ooh, that smoke's rolling good. Starting to get cooked. I mean, that is beautiful right there. I hope y'all can see that. Got some awesome color from that Mojo rub. I'm gonna go ahead and turn them again. So now we just need to keep cooking them a little bit longer. I'm gonna go ahead and get the glaze made up. We'll be able to glaze these chops. When I start seeing 135, 140 degrees, that's when I wanna get the glaze on them. So we're gonna get the lid closed. Gonna make this Tennessee whiskey glaze real quick, and we'll be ready to put some glaze on these chops. All right, for this Tennessee whiskey glaze I'm putting together, I'm starting with some melted butter over medium-high heat in a pot. We're gonna add some minced onion, some minced garlic. We're gonna cook that down just till it softens up. We're not really trying to caramelize it. To that, I'm gonna add some brown sugar and then some pineapple juice. We're gonna melt that down, whisk that brown sugar in until it's all dissolved, and then we're gonna put in our Tennessee whiskey. And I've just got a good shot of Tennessee whiskey. Use your favorite brand. Hey, you know I got the Jack right here. But we're gonna cook that whiskey out, so don't be worried about using it in this recipe. We're just getting the flavor. The alcohol is completely cooking off. We're bringing it to a good hard boil for about 2 or 3 minutes. That's plenty of time. Then I'm gonna add about half a bottle of my vinegar sauce, and that's really what's gonna make this a really good barbecue glaze for these chops. You wanna reduce the heat down, and then we're just gonna simmer this for about 5 to 10 minutes, just taking the volume down by about half. It's gonna thicken it up. So I've reduced the glaze down here, and now I'm just gonna pour it up into a jar. And you can see it's thickened up nice. It's still getting hot. We got those pieces of that minced onion, minced garlic. It's gonna be a beautiful glaze. You know it's gonna taste good. Let's see what we're working with. Oh, that's perfect. That is perfect. Really good glaze. All right, we're reading about 142 on our chops. That's the perfect time to get some glaze on the outside. So I'll grab the glaze here, and what we're gonna do is I'm just brushing it on. It's real easy. You don't have to get real thick with it. The glaze is good and warm, so it's gonna stick to the outside. We're gonna do both sides, don't worry about that. But you wanna be quick when you're working on the drum because this will really make those temps come up. Let's get them flipped over real fast. Get some glaze on this back side. Now we want to hurry up and get our lid closed because we've been open just a few minutes. Check it back just a notch. We want it to stay at that 275 range. We really don't want it to get any hotter. So just stay close to it. We'll flip the chops over and probably give them another brush, but we're trying to get them to about 145-ish, and they're almost there. Doesn't take long at this point. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get these chops flipped. We're gonna glaze them one more time here. So let me give them a quick brush here. They've already got some on them. What we're doing is just adding more deliciousness to it. Flip them over. Hit this back side one more time. Another 5 minutes, I'm calling these dudes. They look righteous. All right, so we've glazed these chops about 10 minutes total. I'm gonna go ahead and get them off because I know they are done. I mean, check these chops out. These are beautiful. I mean, you can see where the glaze is caramelized on them. They're all cooked just perfect. Got a beautiful color from the rub. I'm gonna set them out on the board and just let them rest a little bit because I don't want to cut into them just yet. Kind of stack them up for you so they look good, right? Beautiful pork chops. You know they're gonna taste good, but they need 5 to 10 minutes to calm down, to stop cooking, and just to let the moisture get back in the center of that meat. You never want to cut right into them. That's why we always let thick cuts of meat especially rest for 5 to 10 minutes. That's all they need. All right, our chops have rested for about 10 minutes. That's plenty of time. I can't wait to try one. Before I do, real quick what we did. We started with some extra thick cut ribeye chops, and that's chops from the front end of the loin. It still has that spinalis around the outside edge. I seasoned them with that BBQ Magic from Tennessee Mojo. You could use any rub there, man, but I love that color that Mojo rub gave it. We put them on the smoker under some cherry smoke, which running about 275 today, and we just cooked them until we saw about 140 internal. We put together that glaze. It started with some butter, some onion, some garlic, brown sugar, pineapple juice. We added the Jack Daniel's whiskey to make it a Tennessee whiskey glaze, and then we sweetened it up with some vinegar sauce that brought some of the acidity and reduced it down. That's what we glazed the outside of the chops with. And hey, this one right here's got my name all over it. I can't wait to try it. And you know the part that I want is this spinalis, this part that wraps around. So what I'm gonna do is cut this dude off. That's gonna be the most tender part of this. And I'll go ahead and cut it in half so we can see what it did to these chops today. And check it out, man, that is beautiful. It's tender, still got a ton of juice in it. But I wanna taste this part right here. That is just a fantastic looking piece of pork chop. Can you see the juice in it? Awesome. I mean, that piece right there, the spinalis, it's just like spinalis on a ribeye. It just melts in your mouth. So tender. It's got so much flavor in it because it still has some fat. A lot of that fat is rendered. It's super soft and it just melts in your mouth. I mean, that really is the best part of these pork chops. If you're overlooking those chops at a grocery store that has that piece of spinalis wrapped around it, you need to start buying those. They are worth the money, I promise you. And I'm gonna hit them with just a little bit more of this glaze, because I love that flavor. You can get a little bit of the whiskey in it, but it mainly has the acidity from the vinegar sauce and the sweetness from the brown sugar and the pineapple juice. It goes great with pork. Now this is one recipe you're gonna wanna try. Go get some extra thick cut chops, get them seasoned up and on the smoker, and put together that glaze, and you're gonna really impress your friends. Thanks for checking us out here today at HowToBBQRight. If you like what we're doing, subscribe to our channel. We're gonna put out new videos all the time. You can also send questions and comments to our Facebook and Twitter. We love those. We'll see y'all next time. That's the best part, right up against the bone too. The spinalis is good, man. That's got a flavor right there. Love meat with a handle. It's gonna take me a minute. I'm gonna work on this thing.